Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 26th of September 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 rose at 1% today to 8,204 points, led higher by news that Beijing will implement steps to boost the Chinese economy. That helped the big miners, with Fortescue Metals Group up 3% and BHP and Rio Tinto rising around 2%. As iron ore futures jumped towards $97 a tonne. Consumer discretionary stocks also did well, with Wesfarmers 1.5% higher, while Aristocrat Leisure and JB Hi-Fi both were up 3%. A fall in oil prices hurt Woodside and Santos, and both were among the worst performers of the ASX 200. The big banks were mixed, while REA and WiseTech Global surged. Story number 2, that story about Beijing. It stepped in to forcefully resurrect the world's second largest economy, with President Xi Jinping and China's top leaders calling for sufficient fiscal spending, measures to stabilise the beleaguered property sector, and forceful rate cuts. The 24-man Politburo promised to complete the country's annual economic goals, that's 5% growth this year, and China will also push for the real estate market to stop declining, in what appears to be the most forceful vow yet to stem the free fall in the property market and try to stabilise prices. The news helped all commodity prices, or at least most commodity prices. It also helped the Aussie dollar, which is now trading just under 69 US cents. Global equity markets also rallied on the news, with the Shanghai index jumping more than 3%. Story number 3, plenty of corporate news around the place today. Competition watchdog at the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission has given clearance to Lendlease's $1.3 billion sale of 12 residential master planned community projects to Stockland and a Thai-owned group. REA Group has struck a deal to acquire a 19.9% interest in digital non-bank lender Athena Home for $62 million. Platinum Asset Management rejected a takeover offer from Regal Partners, saying the deal undervalues Platinum. The implied bid price of $1.10 a share was about a 10% premium to Platinum's previous closing price. However, the statement today from the Platinum board said it is still open to considering bids. I reckon there'll be more on that one. Alinta Energy, the country's 4th largest electricity and gas retailer, and Japan's largest power generation company, JERA, have been awarded a license to develop an offshore wind project that could power Alcoa's Portland aluminium smelter. And not quite in the listed space, but interesting all the same, Gold Coast airport owner, Queensland Airports, has been bought by private equity groups Kohlberg Kravis Roberts, KKR, and Skip Capital for about $3 billion. Aussie Super was considered favourite to buy the business, but the US-based groups won out. Story number 4, the country's largest brick maker, aptly named Brickworks, has announced its first loss in decades after writing down its property portfolio and building products business. The good news is that underlying profit hit expectations and the dividend paid out was actually higher. Still, Brickworks made a full-year loss of $119 million compared to a $395 million profit the previous year. Brickworks also has investments in other companies, including Washington H. Soul Pattinson. The core brick business in Australia and North America upped earnings, but Chief Executive Mark Eleanor said the housing market isn't likely to improve significantly over the next 12 months. Certainly investors like the news. Brickworks' share price jumped 7% today. And story number 5, the US and France have led international calls for a 21-day ceasefire between Israel and the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah, hours after an Israeli military chief told troops to prepare for a potential ground offensive in Lebanon. The initiative, backed by the G7, EU, 3 Arab nations and Australia, called for a swift endorsement of the truce in a statement issued on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. According to the Financial Times, one senior US administration official said a temporary ceasefire could shake things up and create space for a longer-term resolution to the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah, while helping avert the threat of a wider regional war. The Biden administration described the initiative as a significant breakthrough. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 26th of September, 2024. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning with the Friday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.